So K-pop idols are back at it again. And by back at it again, I mean using black culture as a costume to stir up controversy or drum up attention or whatever reason they continue to do blackface every 3 to 6 business months. And then we got to sit here and have these conversations. Um, I don't know exactly why they keep doing this. I'm not sure what lessons aren't being learned. But at this point, what I do know is that it's not unintentional. So let's talk about it.
Okay, shut up. What do I care about that? He's only the manager of the show. I'm the star. I'm the big star around here. Nobody tells me what to do. I tell them.
It's good, Indiana. Gosh, I never thought I'd be lucky enough to learn anybody like you.
I'm glad you enjoyed your vacation.
Vacation? How come you can't?
The reason that I wanted to make this video is because of the recent controversy with K-pop girl group Kiss of Life, in which one of the members held a hip-hop themed birthday party in which it featured baggy clothes, AAVE, black scents, and soul food. And she was even so kind as to provide a reference picture for the other members that none of them looked at. Because what the fuck is this?
Who's that?
How you still missed the assignment, mama, and the test answers was given to you. The answer key was right there, and y'all still didn't get home?
Who's that? Who's that? Come out.
Okay, I guess. I mean, sure. So ironic because Kiss of Life is like the name of a very iconic and beautiful R&B song by legendary soul and R&B singer Sade. Gave me the kiss of life. Kiss of life. If you guys can hear my neighbor, so can I. I can't do shit about that. Unfortunately, we share a wall. The training model employed by many Korean idol companies actually very closely mirrors that of the classic training model of Motown. Motown is a legendary record label created by Black executive music mogul and entrepreneur Barry Gordy, who set out to not only create a record label that would go on to produce such classic hits and hit makers as the Temptations, the Marvelettes, the Supremes, the Jackson Fives, etc., but would become an entertainment conglomerate that functioned like a talent factory. They developed their artists in areas such as social etiquette, choreography, stage presence, elocution, etc. And even though there weren't formal vocal coaches on site, acts were still made to study each other and themselves and sing all over Motown's campus so that they could refine their look and sound. Which is ironic because K-pop groups have often called back on the aesthetics and sounds of Motown in a lot of their acts many times over in the last couple of decades. Fast forward to the 90s, and the first generation of K-pop idol sensations began to seep out of the Korean music industry, with groups such as So Taiji and The Boys, a Korean rap group who were very obviously influenced by 90s rap acts. I mean, go back and watch the concerts, it is very much giving East Coast rap. Once again, the aesthetics, sound, stage presence, and swag are 100% Black American. But how did they emulate this sound and aesthetic so easily? Well, that's because Black culture is the soft power of Black America. So let's talk about soft power. Soft power refers to the use of a country's cultural and economic influence to persuade other countries rather than its use of military power or force. And I actually talked about soft power in a previous K-pop video that I made a long time ago that is god awful. Please don't go looking for it. It's so bad. Like, how did I not realize how bad that video was before I uploaded it? Y'all, don't go look for that video. I'm going to remake the video, child. Don't go look for it. All you need to know is that soft power is the attempt at having global influence through the export of things such as culture. In this case, it would be entertainment. And if that concept sounds familiar, that's because that's exactly what Japan and Korea has done over the past 3 or so decades through manga, anime, K-dramas, music, food, toys, candy, fashion. The list goes on and on and on. And Black America, Black Americans, have done this for decades as well. For generations, Black people's music, fashion, food, and dance styles have found their ways overseas. Jazz was all the rage in Paris in the 1920s and 30s. Rock and roll was exported in the 50s and 60s, disco in the 70s, rap in the 80s to the early 2000s. Our hairstyles have made the rounds, our dance styles have crossed overseas, and yet time and time again, Black people are mocked, shamed, and ridiculed by these very same people who have no problem wearing our culture as a part of their act. So, why is that? Well, that's because the value of Black people's labor is extracted from what we produce. One of the prevailing exports of European colonization in America is anti Blackness, or the beliefs, attitudes, actions, practices, and behaviors of individuals and institutions that devalue, minimize, and marginalize the full participation of Black people, is the systematic denial of Black humanity and dignity. In the same article that I used for the definition of anti Blackness, the authors mention how white supremacy validates its existence through the uncompensated labor of Black people. They also pose that Black people are considered too stupid and inferior to be empowered and autonomous beings. And this ties into the way that capitalism functions as a whole. Capitalism isolates and devalues the labor of the worker for the sake of the bottom line. In order for a select few to excel, someone has to lose, and that someone ends up being Black people. For the TLDR, Black people are dehumanized and isolated from the work that we produce so that everyone else can feel less guilty about their constant, uncompensated, and unappreciated consumption of our goods and services. But vintage, you may be asking yourself. Korean idols and companies have employed Black producers, songwriters, choreographers, and vocalists throughout K-pop's inception. So how can you say that they don't value or compensate Black people for their work? That's a great question, very insightful and educated viewer of mine. And the answer to that would be the same way that slave masters would sometimes teach their children how to read and write, but wouldn't free them or their mamas. Yeah. Sorry, I took that to a very uncomfortable place. Yo, bro, I literally have no chill. I don't know how to. That was a very extreme place to take that concept, but what I'm trying to say to you is you can buy the labor of Black people all you want. You can admire their sound and their performance style and use it as the inspiration for your visuals, but none of that means that you actually give a damn to value and appreciate who this stuff comes from. The K pop industry is just that, an industry. Their end goal is to make money and further a political agenda. And in doing so, they're not overly concerned about learning about the deep and colorful and rich culture that they're constantly siphoning off of to meet their profit margins. Idol companies don't even see their own talent as people, so you expect them to see the unpaid laborers that they're ripping off of as people? And this is how you have instances like what happened with Kiss of Life, or the constant blackface, AAVE, and mockery that seeps out of Asian entertainment networks time and time again. For these folks, Black people are not people. We're a distillation of stereotypes, a handful of quirky mannerisms, words, and gestures not worthy of deeper evaluation and certainly not respect. Because I believe in solutions, I don't believe in doom and gloom and not talking things through and not talking about, what can be done. I want to talk about what we can do to combat this. And for me, what I feel that we can do as people who are fans of Asian entertainment is because I'm gonna be quite frank with y'all, and I really don't care who I might offend when I say this. I don't expect better out of white Asian or white Latino people. I don't. So, what we can do better, I think, is we have to stop making excuses for these entertainers. Western society has this really gross tendency of infantilizing Asian people, particularly Korean and Japanese pop stars, because of their appearance and their association with youthfulness. Their clear, smooth skin, their soft features, etc. For whatever reason, we associate those things with like this chibi baby cuteness, and we infantilize them, which basically takes the onus of responsibility off of their shoulders. So whenever stuff like this happens, there's this tendency to hand wave it away as these celebrities not knowing any better. But these are adults. I promise you, y'all, these are grown ass people and they know what they're doing. Okay, so I'm sorry if the audio sounds a little crazy right now. My microphones both died. So halfway through, like the very end of my video, I wasn't able to record the ending. So I do just want to kind of leave you guys off with some final thoughts and what I feel should be kind of the solution moving forward when it comes to like the way we engage with these K-pop acts and these K-pop idols, etc. So like I was saying, because these K-pop acts, these K-pop and Japanese acts are infantilized because of their appearance, which is really gross. They're still adults regardless of how they look. A lot of the times their bad behavior is hand waved away. Or also we make this excuse that because they live in homogenous countries where they don't have access to other cultures, that, you know, they don't know any better. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that that's a good enough excuse. I don't think that that's a good enough excuse to be xenophobic, racist, or anti-Black. I don't think that Korean libraries are not allowed to sell bell hooks books, or that their search engines are not configured to be able to look up Black people. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that they can go in and learn about Black culture if they choose to do so. And as I've said before, it's not as if they don't employ Black choreographers, Black songwriters, Black producers, and talent when they are making their music. They do. And so you're telling me that they have not bothered to do any kind of due diligence or due process and ask these people questions? That's not Black people's fault. That's their responsibility to do so. It's not a good enough excuse. If y'all need some talent to follow that are a lot less problematic and a lot less disrespectful to Black people, I got y'all. They're out there. Bonnie, Niwa, Soulhead, Misha, Sugar Soul, Crystal K, Tasha, Aisha. Some of the people on this list are half Black women. So pick one. They're definitely out here, but do not let these idols and their fans make excuses for treating valuable members of their fan base like shit. You deserve to be comfortable and respected as you invest time and energy into their art. And if their art has to be made at the expense of your dignity, then it doesn't deserve your patronage. Anywhoosies, that's all I've got, you guys. I'm gonna go lay down. My brain is literally full to the point of bursting. Until next time, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.